Knicks players have already reacted after Trae Young once again stirred up controversy with a public shot aimed at New York, and the response from the Knicks came quickly. The moment instantly grabbed everyone's attention, and the way New York answered made one thing clear: this rivalry is far from over. No matter how many years go by or how much changes around the league, pride, history, and unfinished business continue to keep this matchup alive. Right now, all three are as strong as ever. In today's documentary, we're going to break down the entire story. We'll explain exactly what Trae Young did, why he chose to do it in New York, how the Knicks players and organization responded, what the rest of the basketball world had to say, and why so many fans believe this latest incident has only added more fuel to a rivalry that's bound to heat up the next time these teams meet on the court. Let's get into it. Before we talk about the moment itself, it's important to understand who Trae Young is, not just as a basketball player, but as someone who has built his reputation around embracing the role of the villain. Trae Young entered the NBA out of Oklahoma as a slender guard with elite shooting range, incredible ball handling skills, and the ability to make defenders look helpless. Over the years, he has become a four-time NBA All-Star and established himself as one of the league's most gifted scorers and playmakers. He has led the NBA in assists, stretched defenses with his deep shooting ability, and consistently ranked among the league's top offensive players. During the 2024-25 season, he averaged 24 points and 11.5 assists per game, earning his fourth All-Star selection. By every statistical measure, his resume speaks for itself. But what has truly made Trae Young one of the NBA's most recognizable figures goes beyond the numbers. He's embraced the role of basketball's ultimate antagonist. Young has never backed away from hostile environments. When opposing arenas turn against him, he doesn't shrink under the pressure. He embraces it. He's openly said that boos from opposing fans motivate him, and that the louder the crowd gets, the more focused he becomes. That mentality, the ability to transform negativity into motivation, is part of what makes Trae Young both dangerous and entertaining. He's not simply a superstar who performs well under pressure. He's someone who actively looks for those moments, welcomes the hostility, and makes sure everyone knows he enjoyed every second of it. More than anywhere else, that personality has defined his relationship with New York. Knicks fans have embraced the rivalry long ago, and Trae has done everything possible to keep it alive. Instead of ignoring the criticism, he turned it into motivation. Years later, every trip back to Madison Square Garden still carries that same energy that helped shape one of the NBA's most entertaining rivalries. What separates Trae Young from most players who lean into the villain role is that he doesn't just accept the tension, he intentionally adds to it. Many stars would acknowledge the rivalry, let their performance speak for themselves, and move on. Trae has taken a different approach. Whether it's celebrating, talking to the crowd, or delivering subtle jabs, he's repeatedly found ways to keep the rivalry alive because he understands that great rivalries only survive when both sides continue feeding the fire. The Knicks, on the other hand, have mostly chosen a different approach. Rather than fueling the rivalry with public responses, they've largely met it with silence. Meanwhile, Trae Young continues to add another chapter every chance he gets. The result is one of the NBA's most one-sided rivalries, a player fully embracing the feud while the opposing franchise publicly acts unfazed, even if it quietly uses every slight as extra motivation. The latest drama actually began before Trae Young even arrived at Fanatics Fest. The night before the event, he posted an Instagram story showing himself driving through New York City while watching highlights from his standout performances against the Knicks during his time with the Atlanta Hawks. Before he had even stepped onto the stage, he made sure everyone knew exactly what mindset he was bringing into the city that has become his biggest basketball rival. The message couldn't have been clearer. This wasn't an accident or a coincidence. Trae was heading into enemy territory, fully aware of the reaction he was about to receive. By the time Saturday arrived and Fanatics Fest opened its doors at the Javits Center in Midtown Manhattan, the atmosphere was already charged. Fans had come to celebrate basketball, meet players, and enjoy the event, but everyone also knew Trae Young was scheduled to appear. After seeing his social media post the night before, people were eager to find out what he would do next. What happened after that quickly became one of the most talked about basketball moments of the offseason. Trae Young didn't simply walk on to the Fanatics Fest stage. He made an entrance that felt more like something out of professional wrestling. Complete with a dramatic introduction, the presentation resembled the kind of entrance you'd expect before a championship main event. Adding another layer to the moment, Young walked out to Rey Mysterio's entrance music, a wrestler long known for embracing the underdog role. Whether it was meant as a joke or a carefully planned part of the performance, the crowd immediately reacted. The moment Trae appeared, the boos poured in. Rather than being bothered by them, he embraced the reaction. He high-fived fans along the way as he made his entrance, soaking in every second of the attention. Then he reached into what he was carrying and pulled out a blue Jalen Brunson New York Knicks jersey. The atmosphere inside the Javits Center instantly changed. Holding the jersey high for everyone to see, Trae attempted to rip it apart with his bare hands in front of thousands of New York fans. That's when the moment took an unexpected turn. The jersey simply wouldn't tear. Trae pulled, twisted, and strained, but the Nike material refused to give way. For nearly 30 seconds, which felt much longer in a live setting, he kept trying while the commentators described exactly what the viewers were watching. One of them even pointed out that he was attempting to rip the jersey, but didn't have enough leverage to make it happen. As the struggle continued, the crowd shifted from loud boos to laughter. What was supposed to be a dramatic act of disrespect suddenly became an unintentionally funny moment. Eventually, Trae gave up, tossed the jersey into the crowd, and continued with the appearance. In the process, Nike ended up getting some unexpected publicity, while the Trae Young versus New York rivalry added yet another unforgettable moment to its history. To understand why Trae chose that exact stage for that particular stunt, you have to go back to the 2021 NBA playoffs. That spring, the Atlanta Hawks faced the New York Knicks in the opening round, producing one of the most memorable first-round matchups in recent years. It wasn't simply because of the basketball, it was because that series officially established Trae Young as the New York basketball villain. The Knicks were led by Julius Randle and Derrick Rose, following a regular season that had exceeded expectations. They had become one of the league's biggest surprise teams. Meanwhile, Trae Young was beginning to establish himself as one of the league's most rising stars. In Game 1, Young hit the go-ahead floater late in the fourth quarter at Madison Square Garden before putting his finger to his lips and silencing the crowd as he jogged back on defense. That image instantly became iconic. The Garden crowd responded by embracing him as the ultimate villain, showering him with boos every chance they got. Then, during Game 2, a fan spit toward Young from the stands, leading to an indefinite ban from Madison Square Garden. The incident showed just how intense the emotions surrounding the rivalry had become, yet Young never backed down. He continued playing with the same confidence and swagger that had irritated Knicks fans from the very beginning. Over the 5-game series, Young averaged nearly 30 points and close to 10 assists per game, while leading Atlanta to a convincing series victory. Playoff eliminations are always painful, but this one left a lasting impression because of who delivered it and how much he seemed to enjoy every minute of it. The defining image came in Game 5. After helping eliminate the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, Trae walked to center court and took an exaggerated theatrical bow in front of the stunned home crowd. It was the complete embrace of the villain role, a moment that has followed him throughout his career and continues to resurface whenever New York and Trae Young are mentioned together. Knicks fans have never forgotten that bow, and neither has Trae. Over the years, he's continued referencing those playoff moments and has repeatedly leaned into that identity whenever he returns to New York. The rivalry gained another chapter during the 2024 NBA Cup. After the Hawks defeated the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, Trae celebrated by walking to the center court logo and pretending to roll dice, a nod to the winning team's trip to Las Vegas for the tournament's final stage. The celebration struck the same nerve that the famous bow had years earlier. Later that season, before another matchup in New York, Trae also revisited the rivalry on social media, referencing comments made by then New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio before the 2021 playoff series, and reminding Knicks fans how that story ultimately ended. Trae Young has never allowed any of those moments to fade into history. Instead, he's carefully added new chapters whenever the opportunity presents. That's what makes the Fanatics Fest incident easier to understand. Every time Trae Young finds himself in New York, he looks for a moment that keeps the rivalry alive.
At this point, it's clearly become part of his identity, and none of it appears to be accidental. This isn't something that happens by accident. It's a calculated approach that helps Trae Young maintain a persona that keeps people talking, generates headlines, and guarantees that every meeting with the Knicks already carries emotional weight before the opening tip. Young has described his relationship with New York as a love-hate connection. The difference is that he's the one embracing it. The hostility from Madison Square Garden doesn't discourage him, it motivates him. Becoming New York's basketball villain wasn't something forced upon Trae Young. It's a role he has willingly embraced. Throughout his career, he's carried that identity with him. No matter where he's played, he's carried that identity. For Trae, this rivalry isn't a burden, it's fuel. Now here's where the story takes its most important turn. When Knicks players were asked about Trae Young's latest stunt, the response coming out of New York wasn't memorable because it was dramatic. It stood out because of how measured it was. Jalen Brunson, the reigning NBA Finals MVP,